Welcome back, Focus Learners. I am incredibly excited you're joining us for another explainer today. We are going to completely deconstruct a classic fable that honestly might seem kind of simple on the surface. But trust me, it holds this massive, absolute game changer of a lesson about collaboration and team dynamics. Whether you're leading a corporate boardroom, trying to manage a messy project, or just, navigating everyday family life, the insights hidden right here in this source material are totally foundational. But hey, before we dive into the text itself, I want to hook you with a quick riddle. Just think about this. What is incredibly easy to break, yet impossible to destroy? Let that roll around in the back of your mind for a second. It sets up the core mystery of our story perfectly. And I promise you, by the end of this explainer, the answer is going to be incredibly obvious. Okay, let's dive right into part one, A Family Divided. So our story opens up in this quiet little village where an old man lives with his three strong, super smart sons. I mean, they literally have all the raw materials for absolute success. But then we hit the core problem. Day in and day out, they argued constantly. I'm talking bickering about chores, fighting over food, endlessly debating who was right, who was wrong. It's exhausting just thinking about it. Think about the immense potential these guys had and how they completely wasted all of it just because they couldn't get on the same page. And you can imagine the toll this took on their poor, weary dad, just watching them fight every single day. He finally makes this simple, desperate plea. Don't waste your strength on fighting. Use it to help each other. Which is just such wise advice from a tired parent, right? But the sons? No way. They completely ignored it. Words just absolutely were not working here. Which brings us to section 2, the single stick test. Since talking obviously wasn't getting through, the dad decides he needs to stage a physical intervention. He needs them to feel the lesson. Let's walk through exactly how he set this up. First, he calls his boys together. Then he reaches out and hands each one of them a simple single stick. And finally, he looks them dead in the eye and gives a very direct command. Break it. Imagine the tension. You've got these three tough, smart guys grabbing these little pieces of wood, totally confused, but ready to follow his instruction. Snap, literally, just like that. Actually, scratch that. It was totally effortless. The text makes a huge point to emphasize that each individual stick broke incredibly easily in their hands. I mean, instant. The isolated wood offered absolutely zero resistance against their raw strength. And here is where we get the brilliant pivot. Part 3, the unbreakable bundle. The dad, probably with this knowing little smirk on his face, takes a bunch of those exact same fragile sticks, but this time he ties them tightly together into a thick bundle. He hands it over and simply says, "Okay, now try to break this." Now remember, these brothers are exceptionally strong, and they tried absolutely everything. They pushed with all their might. They tried pulling it apart. They tried twisting the whole shebang. It was this massive physical struggle. But despite throwing every single ounce of their power at it, nothing. The sheer resistance of the grouped sticks was just way too much. It would not break. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole point. The single stick? It snapped effortlessly. It represents the extreme fragility of isolation, of trying to operate totally alone. But that thick bundle? They pushed it, pulled it, twisted it, but it stood firm. It showcases the unyielding, undeniable strength you get when you group together. Which leads us perfectly into section 4, the power of unity. The dad watches his powerful sons totally fail to snap this bundle. He looks at them kindly and drops the overarching truth bomb of this whole exercise. Alone you are weak, but together you are strong. The logic is finally laid bare for them to see. He's showing them that if they stay united and help each other out, they're going to grow and they will literally never fall. Well, that physical test hit the nail on the head in a way his words never could. The brothers finally understood. And what is absolutely crucial here is that it fundamentally changed their behavior from that day forward. They actually stopped arguing. They started working together, they shared, they helped each other out. The result? A very happy, smiling dad and a family that was finally truly strong. The source material actually wraps this up by summarizing the moral in these really catchy rhythmic lines. Listen to this. Stay together, don't fight, help each other, do what's right. It totally shifts the energy into this uplifting, punchy cadence that is just so easy to memorize. And it finishes with this. Be a team, strong and kind. Unity is power. Keep that in mind. I want to make absolutely sure you feel the impact of that one specific phrase.
Unity is power. That is the ultimate grand takeaway from the old man's brilliant little experiment.
So, what does this all mean for us? I want to conclude this explainer by turning that lesson directly back onto you. We've seen the raw data from the dad's test. Now, look at your own life. Look at your family, your team dynamics at work, your friend group. Ask yourself this really provocative question. Are you acting as a fragile single stick, or are you part of an unbreakable bundle? Think about that for a bit, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.